Well, we've seen it before, but now there's more scary moments happening here inside the United States. Just recently, a man was arrested for having many weapons, having body armor, and on some of the weapons had a saying that said, "You're gonna learn today." So I want to break down what's going on and how a potential threat to New York City and a possible attack was just thwarted. So make sure you watch this entire video. I want to explain what is going on, but also address the issues surrounding the United States. Because again, this may have happened in New York City, but it does not mean that it can't happen anywhere else. So I'll break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So it's no secret that people here in the United States are a little bit concerned. We've obviously had multiple threats from Russia. We've had threats from China. We've had multiple threats from Iran and other countries as well. However, right now what we're hearing is that the FBI and Homeland Security are deeply concerned about the potential attacks here on U.S. homeland. But I want to show you this. This was just this week. It said, "Man with gun, body armor, and writings that said, 'You gonna learn today,' is arrested in New York City." It says the man was arrested during a traffic stop in Queens. 4 law enforcement officials briefed on the investigation told NBC News. Now here's what I can tell you. This was not a 100% guarantee this person was going to attack. This wasn't an absolute threat. But it's stuff like this that gets things started. I want to read a little bit of this article though. Look at this. It says, an armed man with body armor, knives, and suspicious writings that include the words, "You gonna learn today," was arrested Wednesday in New York City. It says details about the man's intentions, where he was going, or why he had the weapons remain unclear. Investigators are looking into whether he has a history of emotional issues and whether he was trying to self-radicalize in the name of terrorism. Now, the biggest thing that is concerning to most people is there are people like this all over. Just because one person gets arrested because of something they did does not mean it stops everybody. Somebody else is going to come in and take that person's place. This is what we see. Now, I want to read a little bit more of this. Look at this. It says, during the search of Sanson's car, officers also found a 9mm Glock, 100 rounds of ammunition, a stun gun, multiple knives, a weighted whip, an expandable baton, heavy body armor, and 2 axes. It says the man allegedly had a bulletproof vest with an NYPD patch on the front, as well as the orange MTA, Motor Transit Authority vest typically worn by workers in New York City subways. That is interesting. The reason why that's interesting is, why would somebody have a bulletproof vest, or potentially a bulletproof vest, with the NYPD patch on it? What are they going to do with that? Well, you could get into people's homes. You could go into businesses. You could, pretend you are there to protect people. What about the MTA vest, an orange MTA vest? You can get into the subways, any subway you want to. And again, this is why some are wondering, well, what is the motive here? And the reason why I bring this to your attention is because this person was just stopped. This 27-year-old was just stopped. But again, this is what we've been talking about for some time. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, he warned of terror threats posed by open borders just days before 8 ISIS suspects were arrested across the United States. You may remember I talked about that just earlier this week. This happened. And some say that it's just the beginning. The one thing I can tell you, though, is we are going to see more and more threats as we get closer to this election on November 5th. We know that there's going to be threats to some of these rallies in different states across the U.S. We know that. But hopefully there's no actual attack. There's no, deaths. There's no injuries. That's what we're hoping. But based off what we've heard from the FBI and Homeland Security, that there's more chatter, there's more talk now than ever before. They keep looking online. They keep figuring out where people are going, where people are potentially going to attack, and they shut it down before we ever see it. That's the big thing. Now, I bring this to your attention for another reason. There's going to be a lot of talk over the next, year or so regarding funding. Regarding funding to the IRS, regarding funding to, some states and local governments, and regarding funding to the FBI, Homeland Security, and the people that keep us safe. Now, here's what I can tell you. The discussions recently have been on we have to reduce the amount of funding. But by reducing the amount of funding, especially regarding the FBI and Homeland Security, there's a chance more people can make it into the United States. This is also one of the reasons why many people are arguing that we have to pass a bill that is going to provide not just policy changes to the border security, but also funding to ensure that we have more border agents at the U.S. southern border to protect us and keep people from coming in. That's exactly what Texas is doing, but the federal government says no, they've gone too far. So we'll see what happens. Okay, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know what the world's going to look like. I don't know what the U.S. is going to look like over the next 6 months. The only thing I can tell you is right now there's multiple threats that are making their way into the U.S., and many of which we've heard from multiple officials have said they're already here. There's already sleeper cells here in the United States that are just waiting. People that are creating, basic everyday lives. Nothing special. They're living in the suburbs. They have a job. They have kids. There's nothing special about them. But they are potentially part of a sleeper cell, and we don't know it. So we're going to find out. But the one thing I just want to leave you with, and the reason why I bring all this up regarding this potential attack on New York City is because this was stopped. Okay, this was stopped, but now they're still researching and trying to figure out, is this person an actual threat? Should they be released or not? Well, again, we're going to find out soon enough. But I will leave you with that. Just understand, as of right now, the threats here in the United States are at all-time highs. So, again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. You guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you subscribe so you stay up to date on everything that is going on. And again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.